Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And yes, I know it's been a while. So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's still here. Thank you for sticking around and being patient with us. Between work and everything happening behind the scenes with the house, YouTube unfortunately had to take a back seat just for a little while. But I thought, instead of waiting until we have another huge construction update, why not just sit down and have a chat with you guys? Because there has been a lot happening behind the scenes. And I also have something exciting coming up that I've been working on. So for all of you who are always wondering what they could buy from here and how much everything would cost, you're not going to be left guessing. If you are interested in having the most exquisite interiors, look out for these videos. They'll mostly be in a short form style, but I do have to say they will mostly focus on the cost of buying, not shipping or landing cost. So hopefully you will find these helpful. But in today's video, I just wanted to share some of the biggest lessons we've learned throughout the building journey. Things that I genuinely wish someone had told us before we started. So if you are planning to build your own home one day or are currently building, hopefully this video helps you avoid a few surprises. So grab yourself a cup of tea or coffee, get comfortable, and let's chat. So to start off, let's talk about house size. One thing we didn't know is that house plans can be very deceiving. When you're looking at a floor plan on paper, everything somehow looks reasonable. You think, okay, that room looks like a nice size. That hallway, it should be fine. This living room looks massive. But once those walls actually go up, it's a completely different story. Sometimes a room that looked huge on paper suddenly feels much smaller than you imagined. Other times you walk into a room and think, okay, this is actually much bigger than I expected. I think this is even more challenging if you are building from overseas like we are. When you're on site, you get to walk through the spaces, stand in each room, and really get a feel of the scale. But then you fly back home, and after a while, you honestly start forgetting what everything feels like. You find yourself asking, wait, was the master bedroom really that big? Or maybe, will this couch actually fit? Or should we go with a king size bed or a queen? How much space will we have to walk around it? So up until today, we would be just sitting around doing something and one of us just randomly gets up to get a measuring tape, and the iPhone measuring app has become one of our favorite little tools when we're just out and about. We've caught ourselves trying to figure out if a certain room could be the size of our game room or theater. You know the size of the room?
Size about this 4. 4 meter.
4 meters,
Yes. And this is 3, about, yeah, 4 meters. Yes.
We blame it on the fact that we can't be on the ground as often as we'd want. So yes, because of that, we are constantly measuring furniture, checking bed sizes, couch dimensions, dining tables, honestly, everything. It might sound a little bit crazy, but I would rather spend 5 extra minutes measuring something now than arrive at the house later and realize everything doesn't fit or doesn't feel right. So if you are still in the planning stage, don't just rely on your floor plans. Measure things. Visit houses if you can. Walk through display homes. Compare furniture dimensions. Really try to visualize yourself living in the space so that you don't end up with furniture that's too big or too small for your spaces. Now, can we also talk about one of the biggest myths we kept hearing before we started building? I think all of you might have heard this before. Everyone says the foundation and the roof are the most expensive parts. Okay, don't get me wrong, they are expensive, very expensive. But personally, I don't think that's the whole story. I honestly think every single stage of building has the potential to empty your pockets. The difference is that after roofing, you usually have more flexibility. You can slow the project down. You can finish room by room. You can save it before moving on to the next stage. But expensive? It definitely doesn't stop there. Are we forgetting the perimeter wall, the ceilings, plumbing, electrical? If I tell you what we were being charged initially, all because we mentioned that we're building a smart home, you guys would be shocked. The list goes on. So whoever came up with that myth, it's a lie. Don't fall for it. Now, let's talk about windows and doors. Guys, those beautiful Pinterest houses with floor to ceiling glass and natural light everywhere, they are amazing. But they are also very expensive. I always think it's something a lot of people only discover once they start cresting quotations. The bigger your windows, the more glass, the stronger the framing, the more specialized hardware you need. Sometimes even additional structural considerations. Everything starts adding up very quickly. For us, natural light was always one of our biggest priorities. So yes, it was worth it. But we definitely had to make adjustments along the way. You really need to decide your priorities before you build. Before we even lay the first brick, before we engage the architect, we had already spent months researching. We asked ourselves, what are we willing to compromise on? And more importantly, what are we absolutely not willing to compromise on? Because unless you have an unlimited budget, every single home has compromises. No matter how luxurious it looks, someone had decisions somewhere. You need to decide beforehand what you're willing to compromise on. For us, one of our biggest compromises ended up being the exterior design. Our original concept looked amazing. The architect had included some really beautiful architectural features. But then we started hearing things like, you need additional steel beams, this section needs engineering, you need more reinforcement, more concrete, more materials, and every more came with another cost. Eventually, we looked at each other and said, you know what, maybe on the next project. So yes, we did simplify parts of the exterior. Are we happy with the decision? Not really, but at the time it allowed us to move ahead with our project and make a lot more progress than if we hadn't. But one thing we weren't willing to compromise on was the quality of our windows and doors. Did we make some windows smaller? Yes, we did. And buying them from here was one of the best choices we've made so far in this project. Those small tweaks we made to the sizes saved us a lot. Would I still have loved floor to ceiling glass everywhere? Yes, who wouldn't? But we found a balance. We kept some big enough in certain areas, and in other areas that didn't need huge windows, we made smaller. And honestly, I'm happy with those decisions because we also knew that there were other areas we'd rather invest in, like the landscaping, the final exterior finishes, the paint, the cladding, and most importantly, the interiors. The interiors are where we're investing. This is where we'll spend our everyday lives. This is what we'll be waking up to every morning. So things like cabinetry, flooring, lighting, countertops, wallpaper, wall paneling, those details matter to us. So if there's one piece of advice I'd give to you guys, save money wherever you reasonably can and splurge where it's necessary. If you can simplify something without sacrificing quality, do it. You will thank yourself later because building always finds another way to surprise you with unexpected costs. But I also completely understand the people who also say, you know what, it's my forever home, because honestly, I get it. Sometimes paying more for something you enjoy every single day is worth it. So what's happening with our house? Believe it or not, we've actually been incredibly busy. We've been sourcing items for the house. We've literally been just sending our stuff. So we have a couple of things on different vessels still on their way, some being currently loaded as we speak. So I think everything will arrive exactly when we need them. We've also been working on cabinetry designs. When it comes to cabinetry, we are customizing all the cabinetry, including the ones in the bathrooms as well. So yeah, it's been a lot. From picking out the materials, the hardware, storing countertops, And yes, cabinetry is one of those things you shouldn't skimp on, especially the kitchen cabinetry, well, if you can. And honestly, yes, it's been a lot. So much time has been going into the interior designs, which we've decided to do by ourselves, from making sure room layouts are just right, to testing out different colors to make sure which one blends with the tiles, to planning out our lighting, because we realized good layered lighting makes so much difference. I had so much fun mostly with designing the bathrooms and picking out the hardware. That's something I'll take you guys along once installation starts. I've always had a huge interest in interior design, and it's something I would really love to pursue more seriously in the future. So in many ways, this house has become my little playground. I've spent so much time researching finishes, studying interior design, learning about layouts and proportions, and figuring out how to make each room beautiful, but also practical. And honestly, I've been loving every minute of it. Even the frustrating parts. And don't worry, once we get to the finishing stage, we're definitely going to bring you guys along for that journey. I'll show you the planning process, why we chose one option over another, the installations, the little details that make a difference. I'll explain what the original vision was, what changed, and what the final design ended up being, because I think that's the reality of building. Things don't always go according to plan. Sometimes you have to adapt, but that doesn't mean you can't still end up with something beautiful. So that's really where we are at the moment. And with that said, on a completely random note, guys, Zimbabwe really needs more highly skilled specialist tradesmen. And I say this with so much respect because I know we have talented people. We genuinely do. But I think there's room for more people who are just, obsessed with craftsmanship and attention to detail. People who don't just complete a job or see each project as a quick paycheck, but are able to perfect it. Imagine having plumbers, electricians, roofers, painters, tilers, cabinet installers, interior designers whose workmanship becomes so exceptional that people from all over the region are trying to hire them. People are willing to pay for excellence. I've spoken to quite a few homeowners who eventually brought in tradesmen from other countries, not because they wanted to, but because previous experience made them nervous about making the same mistake on a more expensive project. I would genuinely love to see Zimbabwe becoming known for producing some of the best craftsmen in Southern Africa, because I honestly believe we can. But anyway, I guess time will tell. I know this wasn't the biggest construction update, but I still wanted to check in because you've all been part of this journey from the very beginning. Thank you so much, guys, for sticking around. Thank you for every comment, every message, every person who's asked how the house is coming along. Thank you so much. It genuinely means more than you know. But before I go, I'd love to hear from you guys. If you've already built a home, what surprised you the most? And if you are planning to build, what's the one thing you're most nervous about? Let's chat in the comments because I think we all can learn from each other's experiences. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I will see you in the next one.